in Lagos and work for an American company, right? And there are so many things you can do through the use of technology. That's a strong argument he's making. Now, if you have left the whole argument
at that particular,
if you had hinged his argument on that by saying the reasons given are not convincing, all right? Because we believe that today, through the use of technology, you can do anything from anywhere. And then go further by saying, with this parts of these agencies in Abuja, right? The government has not shown to Nigerians the inefficiency or the failures of these agencies in executing their functions by not being in Lagos. If that was the argument, I think the Hatu would have won me over. But injecting and imputing ethnic motive to that move is what lost me. And a former central bank governor, Lamidi Sanusi, who should know, has come out to say it's supposed to move, that it will enhance the efficiency of the central bank, right? Now, you remember when we were speaking before the program, I mentioned to you that if you come to Washington here, there are big agencies of government that are not found in Washington, but they are found in states surrounding Washington, close by. Like in Virginia, you have the FBI, the CIA, and all that. You know, these things do happen. So I think that we should constantly seek the good of Nigeria, and we should elevate the strength of our argument instead of falling back, every time to ethnicity and religion. This is what is holding us backward.
All right, thank you so much, Barrister 𝗀𝗃 Sᴏᴜᴜ. I think it's well captured. Again, I think we are now lost in between substance and form when it comes to having critical conversation on real issues. Nurudeen Adigbenro, you've listened to Barrister 𝗀𝗃 Sᴏᴜᴜ, and again, the VP, Vice President Kashim Shettima, said these are just mischief makers, and that there's really nothing to it. He's a northerner, he's a vice president, but again, the Arewa Consultative Forum is not the only socio-cultural organization from the north talking about this. The Northern Elders Forum have also spoken. A group of senators, all from northern extraction, have also complained. I really don't want to bother with what Ali Ndume said. It's wasting our time. I think a lot of people already have heard what he said. Actually mentioned, I think about several times in what he said, he talked about the Lagos boys thinking they are too smart, they know more than everybody. And look, before they all got their positions, politics brought in the president, and most of the votes that brought in the president now all came from the north. And I think it was pushed to say what the consequences would be if the president decides not to reverse this decision. And said there will be political consequences. And I'm sure that if we're going to interpret what political consequences should mean, it basically was saying that, look, the president should not expect the vote of the Northerners on this particular issue. Nurudeen, I think we have about 24 ministries. As we speak, we are not moving a full ministry, just a parastatal in one ministry. The CBN is not moving its entire operations. Just about 5 departments are to move to Lagos. But I have said that, look, we can argue these things and say, oh, the reasons given are not really genuine. The fact that, look, technology can make things easy, blah, blah, blah. That if we have stayed on that. But how did we get to the point where what we are now talking about when it comes to a policy directive like this is ethnic sentiments and the fact that the North is the target of this particular policy or decision of government?
Fuad, there is one fact that we need to deduce from this issue. The Arewa Consultative Forum and all other social groups from the north that have spoken
so far,
they are talking about politics. The government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu that is moving those departments and agency is on politics.
You don't think it's on?
I'm coming. Is on politics.
Okay, what's the politics?
Fine. One thing that I should know is this: the justification of moving some departments of CBN,
yes,
to Lagos for effectiveness.
They say for operational reasons. Yeah, operational efficiency. Yes.
Look, all of us know. Is it those 2 departments that will make that?
There are 5 departments. No, they say for operational efficiency.
I understand. Is it the only 2? There are 5 departments that will now make the CBN that has been there even before this administration came in. That will now make them more efficient. And let me tell you one thing: politicians, every move they make is up to political reason. Forget about all that good reasons that will follow it. It has a lot of political reasons. They put that one at the front burner, and that is the reason why every move that every politician make, they give political meaning to every step. So on that particular one, those ones that are against it, they are against it because of the political thinking they have. The same way those people that also move it, also moving it for a political reason.
I really want. I like to get what exactly what is what politics are you seeing from the move, from people that have come up with this decision? What's the politics in it? That's what I'm trying to.
Don't forget
again, the Arewa people have talked about politics. The northern people who are saying they have talked about politics, and I've still not been able to hear from them the politics of that decision.
Look, do you know that from the northern part,
yes,
the first thing they are going to be thinking about is this: the person that is heading the CBN now,
yes,
is a southerner.
Good.
That one is one. And don't forget, it's coming from a political dynasty of the president, who also come from Lagos, politically. Not from Osun that he came from. Politically come from Lagos. So if the same department is being taken to Lagos, don't forget that I said that every politician, every move, they read politics into it.
Okay.
That one is one. Then 2 is this: they will now be looking at it. How come that the former president, using 8 years, did not move this at the period of 8 years, and they now have Bola Ahmed Tinubu that is coming from Lagos, now having a CBN governor that from his own political dynasty from Lagos, also taking it to Lagos. So political meaning they are giving to it. Then another thing again is this: all of us know technology has shrunk the world, has made the world to be
a global village. A lot of things can happen.
Automatically, a lot of things could happen. And one of the justification that Dalatu and others are put that come, if we now want to say for effectiveness,
yes,
that Ministry of Agriculture should deliberately unequivocally goes to the Benue, to the Benue state. But one thing there is this: as I've said, card of ethnicity is because that's why we have been saying it on this roundtable. President should not see himself as a politician, as a political president. If you see himself as a political president, every move that he makes, people will read political meanings to it, and he's not going to look at the ethnic card that he's been paying. One thing there is that I believe for many years, politicians have 2 cards they normally play, apart from all that cards they normally play. One of it is ethnicity and religion, and it's not that if it favors their own ethnic group, they are going to reject it. No, the same way political and religious reason is not that they are too religious that is making them to use religion, but to them every political move in a political cycle is a political card, and that's why they will read political meanings to it. For me, I think the problem that is facing Nigerians now,
yes,
is so much that moving department of CBN to Lagos. Nigerians are not so particular. I'm talking about poor Nigerians now. They are not so, if you like, if what is going to make our economic better is moving the whole CBN and take it to Delta states, and it's going to make our economic work, if moving fan to Niger or to Maradi that is going to make our airspace be airworthy, or that is going to put food on the table of every Nigerian, they don't want to know how you do it. So what is important here is then the statement credited to the vice president.
Yes.
You see, one thing about politicians is that they always make me laugh anytime they make some certain statements. Instead of the vice president to come out explain things, talks on the issue. They now say mischief makers. Who are the mischief maker? Is he Aliu Dume that I thought that is the mischief maker? Is he the elders in the north that is mischief maker? Face them and tell them, Oga, this thing is being moved for this so reason, even if the reasons are not genuine. But calling them, waving it from the hand of hand, and not discussing the issue. I think the credit, the statement credit to the vice president, calling them mischief maker, is not tackling the issue. And one thing that is that anytime that when politicians don't tackle issues,
yes,
there are a lot of things in their stomach.
Okay, we'll try and see whether we can get into their stomach and see what they are hiding. You know, I think what can only be in their stomach is when they eat. But Joseph Folorunsho, before I get back to Mr. 𝗀𝗃 Sadiq, I'm looking for the politics of this particular decision. Nurin has said that he thinks that the president has opened himself more to playing politics, and so anything he does in this government, people would naturally want to read political meanings to it. But I'm looking at a policy on the economy, for example, the operation of the CBN. We're looking at FAN. FAN originally was in Lagos before it was moved by the former Minister of Aviation, Adi, and at that time I didn't think anybody from the south had complained about the movement. Like I said, I've done a summary of what Alhaji Bashir Dahatu has said, and there's a lot really if we really want to dissect the issue. But at what point do we stop talking about politics and focus on issues? Can we get to the point where as politicians we begin to hear them talk about policies and issues than talking about yes, I'm coming to you, Mr. 𝗀𝗃. Let me just hear Joseph Folorunsho out.
Oga Fuhad, I think I said it here some times ago. I said in psychology we found a way to maybe address what the person did not say when he's saying what he's saying.
There are
what
things
the person did not say when he's saying what he's saying.
That there are things he's not saying when he's saying
what he's saying. Yes. Let me start from the vice president. Assuming that dear vice president is not the vice president now, do you think this will be his statement, his response? That's the first thing. I recall the time of President Buhari, Adesina, say they call some people, is it Weli Wela?
The Weli Wela.
Instead of, because when you're in position, people raise some question, find an answer to those questions. If you don't have answer, it's better you keep quiet than.
So you think the words of the vice president was not really appropriate?
No, that is the. He did address an issue. Then from the statement of our senior Nigeria, there are so many things that he has revealed. And he's not saying anything that actually concern an average northerner. He's talking of, there are so many things that I said that the average northerner, they don't have problem with those questions he's raising. He made mention of the reason for the security policing agency being in Kaduna.
In Kaduna State, yes.
How safe is Kaduna? Because they are even levels say leave Abuja
from 1990
only Kaduna. How safe,
despite all of those institutions being in Kaduna,
how safe is a state that is very close to Kaduna, Zamfara? How safe was because they have all those police agencies in Kaduna.
Has it rubbed off on the entire northwest?
What does Zamfara benefit from there? Then when they were serious issue in Benue, serious issue in Maduguri, Zamfara, and the rest of them, why did this man now come up and say, do you know what? This security challenge that is making many of for us to lose a lot of our loved ones, I think it has to stop. You understand?
Speak to the main concern of the
main issue, because even though it brings a fan, I live very close to a fan. I've not even seen any. The other day I was complaining that the Jacob the 𝗏𝗃. So I don't see the reason. So what I'm just saying is this: I think our leaders or rulers or some of these are wonderful people. They should only talk to the issue. I think again, it's possible that the president actually take this decision in order to check the pulse of some people, because I don't see any reason he has justified that with technology, even though you take it to Lagos or anywhere, they can still function. Fuad, you didn't mention one agency. They have equally requested that the president has said that they should move nappings to Lagos. Though the nappings they are doing, they move one step back, they move another step front. They are not sure whether they are actually coming back to Lagos. So what we're saying is this: if Lagos is actually the commercial capital of Nigeria. What is wrong if you now say, okay, let's even move the entire headquarter of
the CBN to Lagos,
to Nigeria? After all, almost all the bank have their headquarter in Marina. Not even I don't know any bank that have its headquarter in Ikeja or except maybe microfinance bank. All the banks that we have in Nigeria,
all on the island. Yeah,
they are on the island and in Marina. They all through VI Island. Yeah. So what we're saying is this: very soon, what they actually see will come up.
The things they are not saying when what they are saying will come out.
Do we have said that there will be political consequences?
Okay,
you understand? That is maybe he just tries to scratch it. So some other thing will come out, and again,
so the real
masquerade will come out later. Why they are opposite, and then secondly, if you are not saying that because someone move headquarter or a department in a particular a ministry to Lagos,
agency,
will face
political consequences. Yeah.
It means that you are not genuine in giving your vote to him in the first case.
It was about
about patronage. Okay, what I will get, or what I will not get. And you may be surprised that this man, if we do a lot of profile, though we don't do it in Nigeria, if we do a lot of profiling, maybe you have interest in
something that
is because Nigerian politicians, before you see them shouting.
So maybe he's just writing on the northern.
Yes, just go deep and find out
what they really want.
What the person
really want.
He or she really want.
Okay.
So there are a lot of things that this man would have been maybe voicing a lot of things that concern the North. But we don't see all those things. But it's only this one that some young guy in North, they don't except you arrange them, find them something, so you go and protest. If not,
you will not bother with
that is doing picking scrap from one place to the other. You say, if you say CBN, you say CBN.
Oh,
is it human being or animal that you are talking about?
But Mr. Curtis, we've talked about, there's this argument, like you just also mentioned when you interjected, that look, we can also talk about moving the NNPC to the Niger Delta, the agri to the North Central, blah blah blah. You are widely traveled, and I'm sure you must have seen how organized nations of the world, maybe more organizations of the world, do some of these things. Is there really any problem with moving ministries, agencies, or even entire ministry, to different parts of the country? Can that be a problem?
I mentioned that. That it is because the conversation is wrong. And then when you look at the background, I had an interesting conversation with another friend of mine, and this is what he said in my own words. If he looks like a dog, he walks like a dog, he quacks like a dog, he's a dog.
So there's no other thing.
Now, that the great, and again, you must also understand that if you wear a purple glass, everything you see will be purple.
You just be seeing purple.
Now, even if it is white, because you are wearing the purple glass, it's purple. Now, you see, the fear and the feeling in the northern part of the country before was that your people, the Yoruba, see Bola Ahmed Tinubu as their chief warrior. And the speech he gave in Abeokuta didn't help matter when he was talking about Emilokon and all that. And so even before he was sworn in, there's this groundswell of opinion that he was coming to unfold the agenda for the country.
Yeah.
And it didn't help that the initial appointments, or most of the appointments that he made, went to his own people. You see, the argument is that wherever he moved a northerner from, he replaced with a Yoruba person. And that it wasn't until the outcry by the North that he attempted to shift around some few individuals. So when you look at that, and then there comes this move again that was not completely explained to the satisfaction. Now, instead of both parties trying to stick out clear explanations as to why we are doing this, that is in the best interest of the country, all right?
Yes.
They are playing politics with it. And look, when we are saying there will be consequences in 2027, they know what they are saying. They are simply saying, look, we made you the president. We supported you. We voted the mass for you, right?
Yeah.
And if this is the way you think you are going to pay us back, we'll teach you a political lesson in 2027. Let me take you back to 2011, 2015. You know, when Yar'Adua died, I think in 2010, right?
Yes.
Jonathan was told to complete Yar'Adua's term and then hand over to a northern because of the agreement within the PDP that there will be power rotation. If you recall, Obasanjo, former President Obasanjo was in the forefront of calling on Jonathan to finish Yar'Adua's term and hand over
to a northerner.
But after a meeting with Obasanjo and others and some northern leaders, it was agreed that it is indeed needed that Jonathan win his own term as president. And so the agreement was that Jonathan was going to run for one term and then he will hand over to another man. And you recall that former President Obasanjo changed his tone thereafter and said, I'm supporting Jonathan to be president. If they kill me, you have to bury me, if you recall.
Yes.
He stuck out his neck for Jonathan.
Yeah.
But then when he now came to 2015, when Jonathan said there was no such agreement with the northern elements, the then chairman of the Northern Governors Forum, I think he calls himself the chief servant, Ali Babangida. Yes. Rallied the Northern Governors together to ensure that Jonathan was defeated. So this is the kind of thing that Ali Dume is referring to. And the reason why they are beginning to look at 2027 already is the fact that, as you understand, in African politics, not only in Nigeria, right, governance takes place for just barely 2 years out of the 4-year term.
Yes.
And we are talking about the 9th month now of the Bola Ahmed Tinubu presidency. So in technical terms, you have just a year plus now before politics will start. Politics of 2027 election will start.
But Sir Curtis, before we move to the next issue, Joseph Nuruddin, Alhaji Dalhatu talked about the fact that, look, 8 years there was a northerner as president, but not the north.
Yeah, not the north.
He said there was a northerner.
Okay, so
I'm coming. There's something I want to draw out of this, please. We also had a southerner for 8 years.
But not the north.
So what I'm saying is that look, for 8 years, President Muhammadu Buhari of northern extraction was the president. And the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics made us to know that, look, poverty, insecurity, and even the reality of the north did not change for the better, if you agree with me. So, look, can we conclude that, look, when our politicians talk about ethnicity and tribalism, it is just for their own personal interest, not the common interest of the people?
Okay, yes, we can conclude like that. And there is no data to show that the part of the country that produced the president in the past
always better
is very better than the others. And I always tell people this: my kinsman was president of Nigerian Senate for 8 years. All right, and he could do and undo because the Senate, National Assembly,
President
David Mark. The Senate and the House of Reps, of course, they hold the pulse of the government. But do you know that we don't even have roads in our town? Obasanjo was president for 8 years. What did he do for the Southwest? Yes, he made some few individuals here and there, billionaires and all that, just like any president after him has gone.
Yorubas say they felt they were better off.
Let me tell you, for 8 years of Obasanjo presidency, the Yorubas denied he was not their president. Do you remember? They said he was Hausa president, that they rejected him roundly in the Southwest. That the vote of northerners made him president and kept him as president, right? Again, you are hearing the same thing coming from the north. That Buhari was, though he's from the north,
that's what he said, no?
He was not a northern president. I know. When you go to the north, there are northerners who believe that Buhari wasted the time of the north in power.
For 8 years.
Yes.
But the same,
was it not the same Buhari? Some of the southern politicians at that time were accusing of northern agenda, or
that's why I'm saying that what the Dalhatu is saying is a national malice. It's a national disease. Why it is manifesting in the south as cholera, in the north it might manifest as stroke.
As tuberculosis.
It's the same disease. Or tuberculosis is the same disease. So anytime the north is in power, everybody from the north is in power, right?
Yeah.
that's when you begin to hear so much agitation about restructuring of Nigeria, about saying Nigeria is not working. When the Southern gets there, all the agitators will keep quiet.
To buttress what you have said, just what you have just said now, the people in power today were the biggest and the loudest advocates of restructuring.
Are they talking about it now?
I'm surprised. I mean, I'm shocked too.
You know, I told you I will give you any amount of money you want.
Yes.
If Tinubu restructures Nigeria. You know, we had this conversation. And I said to you, because even though, Obasanjo was losing, let me permit me the use of this word, was making mad about restructuring. When he got there, he said, wow, so this is the power of Nigerian presidency. I can't lose this.
He wants to keep all those powers to himself.
Tinubu would do it. You see, people just talk to get into power. If I were Tinubu, and I've said this before, I will do what is right for Nigeria and damn the consequences. Even if I don't get the second time, I don't care. Like I argued in the case of Fubara. Do you understand? This nonsense about people not being able to do what is good for the country because of the next election must stop. We don't just hold election for the sake of holding elections and putting people in power. We want successful improvement in the system. So what I'm saying is, both sides of the argument, right, should elevate the strength of the argument. This thing must stop. You know, every time a Maryland is in power, the North gets all that they deserve. They get majority. Did we not accuse Buhari of nepotism?
Of course, yes. For 8 years.
Of making almost all the key appointments of the North. Now,
I'm shocked that the leader of the North in Alhaji Bashir Atu is telling us that he's
not the leader of the. See, listen, Alhaji Bashir Atu is not the leader of the North.
Okay.
He's the leader of the Arewa Consultative Forum.
An influential group in the North.
But that's not the only group. And you see, when they make this argument, it's about them not being relevant at the time.
Okay.
Because you see, when these positions go to the North, it's the same set of people that are recycled into different positions. When it comes to the South, it's the same set of people. That's why the most popular part of our constitution is that we talk about national character.
Yes.
And fair distribution of political offices. Do you understand?
I'm with you.
So this is not an issue that has to do with the North alone. It happens to everybody. Let me tell you a joke now. If, for the sake of argument, they decide that they will remove Ministry of Agriculture, right? To Benue today. Do you know it will create problem in Benue State?
Where is it going to
be?
As to where that ministry will be located.
Whether it's
the government will say it should be in our place. The team will say it should be in our place. At the end of the day, like I said, the merit of the argument is lost in the tribal and ethnic argument instead of focusing on the right issue.
All right. Because
of time, but I want to just quickly add these things in form of an advice to every Nigeria. I think it was Chido Obasanjo or Jonathan. I know of a traditional ruler that was criticizing government back and front. The reason he was criticizing government was the government removed me at the chairman of, I think, governing council of a university. And people were thinking he was talking about
it was just a personal beef
on that one. Then I equally want to advise the Tinubu team. There's something I do with me within the family. I play some politics within my family. If I want to chop a particular food, I will go through my children to push it through my madam to do that thing. Why not? Tinubu will look at, okay, we want to do this thing. If it is the CBN or the fan writing to the president, even though now you send the script from back, please, for operational reason, please permit us to go to Lagos. Or for operational reason, permit we in department CBN want to go to Lagos for. It's as if maybe the temperature, the narrative, so we should be very smart and diplomatic in taking some of what addressing some issue. Therefore, I know that during Buhari, we did not even mention it. Is it Niger? Niger was a serious equation. It was a serious equation. Nobody talk. about why are you moving this thing to
where to
people in the south
people in the south were questioning it. I remember that
in Nigeria and you are,
I remember that the Christian Association of Nigeria did not allow him to rest.
Even the can in the north
did not allow him to rest. So again, we are this is the situation we found ourselves, and we hope that again we'll get out of some of these unnecessary sentiment and focus on real issues of governance and development. It's still Political Roundtable, Mainland 98.3 FM. We have Barrister 𝗪𝗁 Sadiq on the phone. We have Nurudeen Adigboro in the studio and Joseph Folorunsho. And I think we've been able to deal with the first issue, which is on this issue of moving of department of the CBN and FAN and some of the ethnic sentiments that have come out of it. We're hoping that again our leaders will be selfless and more focused on development rather than some of these sentiments they keep throwing around. Now the second issue is the issue of insecurity. We've gotten to a point where nobody can sleep with their two eyes closed. A lot of the parts of the country, and some of us in Lagos, I think we're a bit lucky. Yes, insecurity in Lagos, but not as bad as some states of the country. What we are hearing now is that look, Abuja was in news because of the recent kidnap cases and all of that, around some payment crowdfunding and all of that. But there are states that are also facing this problem of kidnap for ransom. States like Kaduna State, I think Kaduna is like, because again, that one is like Joseph said, despite all of the security institutions situated in that state, it's just something else. Sokoto is not also doing any better, really. Yes. There have been reported cases. The same thing Zamfara, Benue, Ebonyi, Imo, Katsina State, Kogi, Anambra, Abia, Kwara, Niger, Edo, Ondo, Oyo, Rivers, Osun, and Ogun State, and even Ekiti. So if you aggregate all of these states, you agree that it's almost like the entire country that is held down by this scourge of kidnap for ransom. Nurudeen, again, we are looking at this. 𝗪𝗏 is talking about Abuja that look, is death penalty or nothing. If they catch you, they will kill you. We are not going to be giving any bail and what have you. In Plateau State, we are already seeing that the governor has relaxed the curfew after the killing that happened recently during the week. He's relaxed the curfew, but it's not all over. Reports are saying that look, there's serious battle between security operatives and some of these bandits and killers, and that look, we are hoping that very, very soon normalcy will return to Plateau State. But the argument is that these are just temporary measures. We do these things, and then after some months, we are back to reporting killings and arson in some parts of the country. What can we do? We're going to rush through this because, again, we are running out of time, just so that we can move to the next issue, and then we open up the phone lines. What is that thing? Just 1-2 minutes, Nurudeen. What do you think we can do, to create a sustainable security situation for the country? Sustainable.
Considering the rate of kidnapping, what we have to do, the first one is this: the kind of security structure we have cannot tame anything. Let me take it from the angle of the police. I've said this several times. If it's this structure of police that we have is the one that we want to
use to secure ourselves,
I'm telling you, we are going nowhere. We are going nowhere. We need to restructure the security structure. We need to reform it. We need to restructure it if you have to do that. That one is one. Then two, our soldiers, we are over. In fact, what is not the work of soldier, we are giving them. As of today in Ojuore, is now every Sunday now.
Ojuore State.
Yes, the Navy barrack there, they have to send some men that will be in Ojuore
on the road
because of a particular church. And he's going to be there, our soldier, now being a traffic warden. What they're supposed to fight is external aggression. What mobile police can do, we are using soldier to do because our mobile police cannot do it.
Our mobile policemen have been attached to VIPs.
And that's one of the things that the restructuring come in. Because 50%, yes, now 50% of our police officers are now with the big men. So with
the big men.
By the time we're now looking from that angle, then another thing again is that it is the high time that the president needs to put this thing in the A list. It's like he's not putting the
issue of insecurity.
He's not putting on the A list. And I normally say it. if we have a former general that rule us for 8 years, cannot solve all this problem, I fear that a civilian will not be able to do it.
He may have a better strategy.
The better strategy that if someone that is so then the traditional security, it is important. I know in Lagos now, local government, they are now having their own security initiative, paramole, all these ones.
The little issues.
They just put all guys together. Is it with stick that you are going to fight whatever?
All these terrorists.
What we need to do is this: the model they have in Borno with all this vigilante stuff, let's domesticate it. Let's put it in the reform. And also, we need more men
in a security operative.
We need more men. The one that we have is not enough to fight anything.
All right, Joseph Olorunso, 2 minutes.
I think to me, there's something fundamental that we are not still doing. First, Nigeria never appreciates, when you talk of protection of life and property, we did not appreciate it at all. Oga Fuad, you know, recently we heard the news of DSS arresting the leader of 𝗵𝗁 somewhere in 𝗵𝗁 in Nasarawa State. The same DSS were in this country in the last administration that this guy were threatening governors. They did not even, I don't think they invite them. So again, it's as if any president in power, some of the security agency will look at his
body language,
his shadow,
our body language
for their operation. And if we are doing like, we can never get it.
They're just supposed to do their job.
They're supposed to do their job that without that. And again, this government, when they came, I think I said, me and you were discussing.
You said it, yeah.
That Nuhu Ribadu,
the choice of Nuhu Ribadu as the NSA,
we will not say. People were just saying, no, it's the president, the 𝗬𝗫 promised or working with him. I say it is beyond that. They cannot say the president and say we will not work with him. Immediately you have seen another job.
But what
even in their mind, no, I just say what someone is saying. What did not say when you say what you say.
It's very important.
It's very important. And my children, by God, give my children school in military school. If you are a teacher in military as a civilian, you are just there. You just hear we are going to south. You follow. You just go and they actually going to north. They just feel that the issue of say you are a bloody civilian, it has entered. It has entered part even in the of them that. So when you now bring a police officer to come and be talking to those guys in the Navy, because they have their own sociology entirely.
Their thinking pattern is different.
That is a big issue for Nigeria, that when a president say anything, they say the president is doing what is right. So Fuad will get the issue of security right. If the IGP is going to see the president, he's not putting his hand at the back. Or when you put, if you want to say Oga, you have to put your hand at the back. That you are the mercy of that your Oga. But the IGP should be going to see the president with all his hand and say, Oga, Mr. President, this is what I'm going to do.
And this is the right thing to do.
You understand? And the anytime you are here, the president have directed the IGP or the IGP have directed the commissioner of police. The question is a commissioner of police in a state, is he a comedian? Is his job not to
do what is right?
He didn't need to wait for the directive from the IGP. Does the IGP need to wait for the directive from the president before he does the right thing? When you are seeing all this narrative forward, as we continue, we will never. And the criminal will continue to be on top of the game. Now, this is my recommendation, and I don't know how possible it is. Let the president beg. Say, okay, do you know what? If it is to go to the House of Assembly, the governor, as in our constituency, is the chief security officer of the state. Let us find a way to say, okay, the commissioner of police in Lagos State, director of DSS in Lagos State, the commander of civil defense in Lagos State, the sector, all the policing agency,
security agency.
Please, if there is issue, don't call the IGP. Call our governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu and brief him. This is what is happening
going on,
and what are the step I've taken. I need a small thing to move on. But it's a situation whereby something happen here, the governor is in Alausa, the person, the CP is in Ikeja. You have to call Abuja, who may be very busy
doing something else.
You are waiting for directive, and the criminal are seriously doing their job before you now come
before the directive gets to you,
the criminal has look at what happened in Jos, and the CP was not fired, or the DSS, the director of DSS, all of them. So if we continue this way forward, I will continue to say we'll just be singing song we're on top of security, we're on top of
and
security,
nothing will change,
and Kaduna is a classical example for us that we have almost all the headquarters of the police agency. Kaduna happen to be one of the unsafe area in Lagos.
A big irony,
which is an irony,
a big irony.
Then the other one quickly is Abuja. If at all, forward, it's not good for us to face insecurity, but if at all we are facing any security, for the reputation of Nigeria, Abuja should be isolated.
That should be the
safest. The capital where the headquarters of DSS is there.
Anything headquarters.
The first headquarters is there. Just name all of them.
Everybody.
So
it's happening in Abuja.
Everybody.
The president should not allow any of them to stay the next day.
Okay, the president should not allow any of them to stay the next day. Mr. Ksᴏ😂, sustainable approach to security in Nigeria. 2 minutes. I want the last issue so that we can open the phone lines.
First and foremost, I think when we're talking about security, we should look at 2 points or 3 points. The architecture and the structure of security in the country. Yeah. Is it sufficient? Is it adequate? Can it deal with the security situation that we have? The answer is no. What then is the solution? We talked about atomizing the security infrastructure by creating state police and others. In the United States here, you have even gone beyond local government police to city police. You have state, you have local government, and now you have city policing, because they know that police performs a fundamental role of securing every country, right? So we know that what we have is insufficient, is inadequate, it cannot meet our needs. The entire population of Nigerian police is what? Less than 500,000. And I can tell you, over half of it are outside, over half of them are outside performing security details role, attending to some rich individuals, watching supermarkets of their excellencies, the wives of governors and their associates, and even chief of staff. So you see some of them carrying heavy police team. So the entire country is left with very small number of policemen. Of course, that's a problem. Now, are we going to get state police under this government? I don't think so. Have you heard the agitation again? Since the Southerner mounted the throne, is he going to talking about state policing again?
Why do you think we are not going to get state policing? Why?
Okay. Is everybody talking about it now? when President Buhari was there,
yes.
When President Buhari was there, it was a song that we kept hearing every day. Now, let me tell you something, and I'd like to be very frank with Nigerians. Do you realize that the security situation deteriorated under this government?
Of course, yes. The facts are there.
The guys are trying to test the will of this government. And it doesn't look like security is a priority. Everybody is focusing on the economy that is also not improving yet. But let me tell you what the problem is. You see, everything you achieve outside of security, right? You are wasting your time. If people don't feel secured, no matter what you have achieved, President Buhari did something is good, right? But when you talk about President Buhari's government today, the first thing you hear is about insecurity.
Of course, the widespread.
So I think this government needs to step up, whatever it will take to secure the country. Even if it means us having state police. You know the argument against state police is that it will be abused by politicians. And my simple question is the current police not being abused by the same politicians? Do you get the point?
Me too.
A situation where the IG, the announcement saying the president has directed the IG, like Joseph said, or that the IG or the president has directed commissioners in the state. As if they cannot function unless the president. Now, then the other issue we should talk about is when we appoint people to offices to manage our security, right?
Yes.
It doesn't look like we give them specific goals or targets.
Now,
if let's say for example there's an IGP, another IGP nationwide, they are kidnapping 400 people a day. When you bring in a new IGP, you don't to tell the IGP, look, I don't want to hear about kidnapping at all. Worst case scenario, if it happens, it should not be up to what we used to have. Do you understand?
I'm with you.
And then you can assess that IGP whether he's working or not working. What we do in the country, there are no statistics, there's no metric. We just put people in position and they are there because their loyalty is to us.
Well, the IGP 𝗪𝗏𝘁𝗃 when he was appointed,
say lion and tiger.
He said he's going to work like a lion and a tiger, and issue serious warning to.
Okay, you have seen the tiger walking now.
He's right.
Let me tell you.
Maybe he's getting set.
Let me tell you.
See, you know tigers can take more.
Let me tell you something.
In order to
see, all over the world, the capital city of a country should be the most secured.
Definitely.
Yes.
And that these guys are finding it so easy to breach security in the capital city. It's worrying and it's disturbing. I told someone 2 days ago that my small town, Utukwe, is more secure today than Abuja. If we were to carry out, there was, I think, something that came out in the course of the week that put Lagos ahead of Miami and Dubai in certain areas.
That was just a joke.
Now, I have done my own, and I have put Utukwe ahead of Abuja in terms of security.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
But I think the serious point here is that, look, the security architecture that we have in the country is not working. It's inadequate. It cannot meet our security demands, and so there must be a restructuring in that area. But I want to make a bet it will not happen.
Okay, let's go to the I think the last issue on the roundtable this evening, and that's the issue of okay, I think we'll have to find a way to connect Barrister Curtis Adigba back. Okay, I think a little, but we're going to be looking at the issue of Rivers State. Let's try and connect Barrister Curtis Adigba, and again, the Rivers State House of Assembly have decided to vote to override, the decision of the governor, that's Siminalayi Fubara. And what we're looking at here is the fact that a lot is still happening in Rivers State. The Supreme Court victory, and I think the major issue is the issue of conducting the local government election in Rivers State. I think four issues were brought before the Rivers State House of Assembly. That's the Rivers Local Government Amendment Law, the Rivers State Traditional Rulers Amendment Law, the Rivers State Advertisement and Use of State-Owned Property Prohibition Repeal Law, and the Rivers State Funds Management and Financial Autonomy Law. Like I said, these are four issues with a lot of political implications. We're going to do this very fast because I think a lot of people really want to be a part of the show now. And what the Rivers State House of Assembly, before voting to overrule the governor, to override, the governor and pass these bills into law, is that, look, the speaker actually accused the governor. It was a direct accusation of not planning to conduct local government elections in the state, saying the reasons given by the governor means he doesn't plan to conduct local government elections, and that, look, those local government elections must happen. And Barrister Curtis Adigba, people are already saying that, look, this governor who has decided that there's no price that is too huge to pay, for peace, is working on, is on his political suicide mission. He has again reinstated the commissioners that resigned, and while he was talking to them, he said, look, people should fight for equity and justice. He has represented the budget. The assembly is already sitting. We don't even know whether they are members of PDP or APC. They are already voting to override his decision to pass bills into law. Like I said, they are insisting that local government elections must happen. We are going to do this very fast because we need to open the phone lines now. Barrister Curtis, in just 1 minute. Governor, how safe is he politically?
You know what Fubara is doing?
Yes.
Fuhad is like a man who has a grenade in his pocket. with a linchpin.
Okay.
Partly removed, and one is looking for targets, not knowing that he himself is the target. if it's not because we brought this issue here, I don't even want to talk about him anymore because I have no sympathy for him. I think he has no liver, he has no character. He's willing to do anything to stay as governor, right?
Governor, yeah.
In the course of the week, the local government chairman called him unprintable names.
The local government chairman, yeah.
Yes, chairman of Ikoyi local government. The chairman he appointed. And he took Wike's intervention. According to the chairman, he said Wike called him and said he shouldn't have used such words on the governor. And he said he came out to apologize. And in his apology, he was still venting on the governor. Now, they say that they have called for peace in the state, right?
Yes.
And the governor have accepted and said no price is too heavy to pay for peace. He's taking steps to implement some of the key resolutions. But what you see on the other side is that they are not waiting for that, they are not looking for that peace. How many times did we conduct local government election when he was governor?
I was going to ask, now that his loyal assembly members are in...
Do you know why that is an issue now? Because they want to plant Wike's loyalists in all the local government. And then the issue of them overriding the governor, I hope you know that constitutionally, if they can form the quorum for that,
they can.
They have the power.
Of course, yes.
To override the governor's refusal of assent.
Bill, yes.
But this is the problem they are going to have. It is the executive that executes the laws and the rules of the state.
And even deploy resources.
Yes, and so the weapon they have is that if the governor refuses to do any of these things, they can then commence impeachment process against him. And I can tell you, Fuhad will wake up one morning and just heard that he has been impeached. He's toying with fire, the grenade in his pocket will explode, and he will be the victim.
All right.
Let him be playing with these people who are not playing with him. He had them by their throat, and their legs couldn't touch the ground, but he's giving up all his privileges and he's giving up all his leverages, and he will pay a huge price. I don't want to even talk about him because I have no sympathy for him. The way he came in, he will go out.
All right. Thank you so much, Barrister Curtis. Nuruddin, we need to open the phone lines very, very fast. Do you agree with Barrister Curtis that, look, this is a man with a grenade in his pocket, and the lynch is already out? He thinks he's trying to target people, but he's actually the main target, and he's the most vulnerable now when it comes to Rivers politics. I
must confess, I agree with, but the only problem there is this. I don't know, apart from the case in court, which he has not even have heard. The major preliminary, thank God that the interim order, at least one way or the other, the case really won. Maybe that is the area that is waiting for. But
what is he waiting for?
Because there is a case looking at if they have to. But one thing there that is so certain is that I think he needs to. This is the time that he needs to come. I can tell you, with the power of governor in this country, there is a way he can outweigh all these particular.
But does it look like a man with any power?
But it's not the kind of. That's why I said that Nigerian politics is not for. It was not meant for weakling. It's not meant for those people. That is why you see that majority of our governors, I'm sorry to say, you have to behave like a garage boys in some certain cases for it to be done. Look at Sanwo-Olu when he was arresting all those taking one way and whatever. Look at the way he was just.
But we are talking about real politics now.
No, he wants something to be done because there are some certain things that Nigerians generally.
You don't need to be a gentleman.
You don't need to be a gentleman in some certain things. With the way he's doing, it's like he's playing into their hands. And after all, Nuruddin Adegbenro will not be impeached. He's the one that will still be impeached.
All right, Joseph Olorunso, is this a governor who has lost all confidence, all powers? He doesn't look like he's in charge.
Oga Fuhad, in behavioral science, you need to be careful when dealing with some individual. This kind of thing happened in Edo State.
Okay.
Governor Obasanjo was like ruthless. Was like a person who cannot even breathe. when the issue between him and Oshomole actually started. But a high number of people resigned. I saw him on a TV one day as if this is a man that was
gone.
A bit helpless. But I think someone knock on his door and tell him
you are
the power that you have, use the governor. And today, the fear of 𝗃𝗁𝐶𝑖 in Edo State is the beginning of
political wisdom for the politicians.
So it's possible Fubara maybe is in the school now. Maybe let's give him some weeks. They just finish from
how
that
long
school.
does it take to drive from Port Harcourt to Benin? You can just drive down.
No, because that man, I'm actually afraid of him.
Okay,
I'm afraid of
you still
him.
think that he's still.
So when somebody is silent, I mean.
Oga, a silent person sometimes we don't know.
Okay, what is
the
going to
next
come
line of action? So let's watch the game.
Okay, let's watch you. You give me. You give me. Yeah?
This man when we have no fuel in the tank. Forget about this man.
All right, Mr. 𝗃𝗃 Saheed, thank you so much for joining us on the show this evening. God bless you for always finding time to be a part of this conversation. We appreciate.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. I think we have to open the phone lines now. It's time to open the phone lines. I think we've had a very brilliant conversation. 09136 000 410 09136 000 Political Roundtable Mainland 98.3 FM. Here's the first issue. We looked at the issue of 𝗵𝐶𝐵HI relocating some departments to Lagos and what Alhaji Bashir Atu has said about that. And then we also talked about Rivers politics and insecurity in the country. Hello, good evening.
Hello?
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Fuad.
Your name, sir, where are you calling from?
Thank you very much. My name is Mr. Bello. I'm coming from the day.
Oh, Bello Usman. How are you doing, sir?
Thank you, Alhamdulillah. You see, my problem with this government is very simple. It's not all that much. Insecurity in Nigeria, right? And if President Ahmed Bola Tinubu want to win the insecurity and win the heart of Nigerians, that some of us leaders, our activities during the elections away for him, is simple thing. He should remove the Minister of Defense, State for Defense,
Matawali.
Yes, you should remove him. Why I'm saying this is that when the new GOC of one division in Zamfara State said that the military in Zamfara State should go high against the
bandits and
yes, in Zamfara State, they ran to Somalia saying that those bandits, they are their brothers, their uncles, and they should find a way to forgive them and realize them to the
Malam Bello's man.
Yes.
We remember the same thing happened when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came to power. One of the first people that visited him at the Aso Villa was the former governor of Zamfara, Yerima. And it was the same message that, look, the president should not really go after the bandits and terrorists in Zamfara, that they should use a carrot and stick approach. So what's it with the governors of Zamfara and insecurity and the fact that they don't really want the government to go after these guys and wipe them out?
Yes, that is why I think there is mining in Zamfara. There is Madagascar, Cameroon, Agit, and the root in Zamfara State. I don't know if you are aware.
We are aware, yes. We need resources of the state. Yeah.
Because of all these, they don't want any president of Nigeria to go high against the criminals. Because some of them are beneficiaries of these resources. The resources that was even supposed to meant for federal government, like oil in Niger Delta. I'm from Kano State. As I speak, I know so much of them are going on in that Zamfara State, which is also part of the north. But my question is that they say that Ali Yerima also visited President Tinubu to discuss this kind of issue with him. So Tinubu would have gotten arrested for giving him such wrong advice.
All right. Thank you so much, Malam Bello Usman. Thank you. God bless you. 09136 000 410. We are live on Facebook and YouTube, and so you can also still drop your comments and contributions there. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, my name is Eric. I'm calling for Ijogu.
All right, sir. Please go on, sir.
Yeah, I want to speak on the agitation of the North regarding the movement of some of these parastatals, or part of it, rather.
Go ahead, sir.
Right?
Yes.
What I'm trying to say, since I have been hearing the issue, I am reflecting what is happening down south here. Right? Because, you know, the North is looking at Nigeria from the perception of North and South. And eventually, some of the things that is shared is on that basis. And whatever that comes to South here, Lagos swallows it. The Yorubas grab it.
Oh, really?
You know? Yeah. Because any starter in any state, apart from Lagos. Now, coming to that, Lagos is developed with resources from so many other states.
So what do you suggest? What do you suggest, Mr. Eric? What's your own suggestion?
What I'm suggesting is that people who are leading us, who claim that they know, are the people who are setting this template. This template was set even during election, when people were asking people to go back to their village. So whatever comes to your own angle, you try to hold it. You try not to allow it to slip off. That is the basis of what is happening here.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Eric. 09136000410. Thank you so much. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, this is Paul from Egeda.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Paul.
Yeah, this very nice discussion. All of you are very intelligent and brilliant discussion.
Thank you.
Yeah, Nuruddin is winning an award again. She's very, very principled and non-tribal person. But the issue on ground, in fact, I am surprised that President Tinubu will make this mistake. Someone who is politically alert should understand and read the handwriting on the wall about Nigerian politics when it comes to presidency. The North doesn't joke with it. If I were him or those who are advising him, he shouldn't have made the move of moving those departments to Lagos. Because even if he has a genuine intention, things should be written, things should be read out of context. You know, Nigeria is a polarized political environment that when you say the truth, they read meaning to it. There's nothing you do in this country that people will not read negative meaning towards it, against one tribe or religion or the other. So for me, I consider it as a mistake. It's too early for you to have done that. And again, when we talk about the South and the North, we should be principled to say the truth. The truth is that the power rotation in Nigeria is between the North and the Southwest. Jonathan came there by coincidence.
But he ruled for 6 years. But he ruled for 6 years, Mr. Paul.
You say what?
Jonathan ruled for 6 years, you know.
He completed the 2 years of late Yaradua. He seek re-election. And that in the seeking for re-election, it was based on agreement. They're not saying, okay, let's give you 1 term, which is 4 years. Okay. Then you hand over. All right. But at the expiration of that 4 years tenure, he not seek for re-election and did not say no. That is what this man is trying to re-echo. That he should understand the consequences of his action.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Paul. God bless you. I think I get where you're coming from. But the idea of the North and the Southwest, I don't know. Hello, good evening.
Hello, Fuhad. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Sharp. Where can I just talk? Salah.
Salah, where are you calling from, Salah?
Malam Salah from Malangbado.
Oh, Malam Salah. How you doing?
Oga, I did as I did.
All right.
Oga Fuhad. See, let me tell you one thing is this. First of all, because of time, the man called Shettima, what is his political value when it comes to northern politics?
He's a two-term governor of Borno State. Whether you like it or not.
Okay, promise me you are going to give me 4 minutes to talk.
I'll give you 2 minutes. Just be very fast.
Yes, give me 3.
2 minutes. 2 minutes, Malam.
What is his political value? He is from North-East, right? In the last election, how many states was he able to deliver to 𝗵𝐴PC? His own home state, Borno state. If not because of Babagana Zulum, he could have not delivered to APC. Right? So what is his political value? By time will tell anyway. This is the second time that he's making blunders. You know, during the conference of Federal President, he made a comment that the worst Christians in the part of the southern, the worst Christian in the south is better than Muslim from the northern part of Nigeria. Who judges later you want to swallow, you want to correct the thing, show up or no call him or whatever. But it's already written in the book of record. Anyway, time will tell.
Okay.
See, now coming back to this president, the policy of CBN. You see, one thing is this president almost lost political value in the southwest himself. He almost lost political value, even though because he was, God helped him to win this president, he could have completely lost political value outside Lagos. You understand?
I'm with you.
Now, this is how the southern politicians used to do. The same thing happened to Obasanjo in 1999. He was unable to deliver even his words because he was rejected completely from the southwest of Nigeria. But it's the second time, unanimously the southwest said that when you come to presidency, you vote for PDP. When you vote for ABS. You understand?
Okay, I've given you 4 minutes. Thank you so much. I think I need to take the messages on Facebook. A lot of them are dropping already, and it's just fair that we read these messages. I have a lot of messages here, but I'll try and take them before we return to taking phone calls. We have Basil Chika, who is saying insecurity in Nigeria is obviously orchestrated by God knows who, and that's why you can see aiding and abetting where some people can make inflammatory comments and go free. Some will make statements out of frustration, and security agencies will call for their head. Then on CBN and FAN departments location, I think it's high time government ease up Lagos by citing some of these offices to where it ought to be, e.g. oil company offices to the south, create seaports in the southeast and others to the north. Lastly, on Fubara, he should man up and rise to the occasion with all of the power he possesses and fight his common enemies before it's too late. Chika Bende from Trade Fair. We have Oluwaseun Damilare. Okay, yes, I think we worked on that. Babatunde Shitu is saying, right on my happiness man on radio. Thank you so much, Babatunde Shitu. We have Chigozie Azu is saying, Alhaji Dal Atu, just like Ali Ndume, who threatened political consequences of the Areba Council Forum, who have been protesting, are pushing the true position of the North. Had Shetima not been in power, he may be on their side. They wish to have everything. Okay. It also talked about insecurity in Kaduna and all of that. We have Oloyede Oluwaseun James, who is saying, good evening. You guys in the studio are doing a great job. Well done. And then we have Oluwafe, that's just the name. And he's saying Abuja is no man's land. Why some northern groups are taking it personal, as if Abuja is the only northern territory. Saheed should not reduce every government policy to politics. Let us be logical sometimes. I don't know. Well, we have James Unwachi Ogbona, who's saying, distinguished Fuhad and other gentlemen in the studio, I greet you exceptionally. Mr. Fuhad, I have always maintained that Governor Fubara is sitting on the keg of gunpowder politically. He's the governor, but I can tell you he is not in control as governor. He has more than 20 members of the state house of his house who are against him and loyal to Wike. I'm scared for him because him thanking Wike after his victory at the Apex Court shows he's not in charge. Wike for that, but trust me, he's not likely to come back for second term if he survives the first time. I think he's even surviving the first time.
It's even the most important
that we should talk about. Then we have Abdurrafiu Alabalakwe, who is saying, it's a long message, but I'll try and read the much I can read from it. It's very unfortunate for the kind of country we are building. How come some elements in the north checkmating the constituted authority on some policies? It's very bad if it could be done in a country that claims to be one Nigeria indeed. Yes, we are one Nigeria. It's just unfortunate that we put politics into everything. Look, I want to beg President Tinubu to go on with his program and policies. He should not look at those making noise at the window side. Rather, he should focus on those who are inside. Relocation of some of the agencies is a necessary thing for development of the country. Alaba Lakpe from Sabo Niba, it's a long one, I can't read everything. This is an interesting message. Follow short Nuruddin. I'm going to read it out despite the fact that there are some derogatory words there. But I just want you to look at the logic of how people think. Now, this is a message from Kolawole Kazeem. He's saying Nigeria problems are many and lazy journalism is at the center of it all. Many of you are speaking on issues that you know nothing about. How can anyone be calling for state police after the constitution said the governor has the power to give order to police commissioners of police in their states? You know, when you see ignorance at all, you just laugh.
Which constitution? Is it 1999?
I don't know the constitution you're talking about.
Where many governors they complain.
I remember I told you that it was not in this Lagos that a governor went to Magodo.
An ASP.
And the ASP was telling me, sir, I can't take orders from you. And you know, so again, I had to just read.
In fact, governor cannot do anything to a DPO.
So, but it's a very long message, but again, you know, again, he talked about the fact that, look, we should compel the government to spend their security votes, blah, 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 and all of that. But again, I think Mr. Kolawole Kazeem should get himself more educated about some of these issues.
So, for the fact that you see us on this roundtable,
you think we are just
here, just like,
you know, that. So, all right, I think we'll return to taking more calls. 09136000410. Hello, good evening.
Very good evening to the white people in the studio.
Good evening, Prince White.
God bless all of you. I bless your management.
Amen.
Indeed, may God bless my country, Nigeria.
Amen.
Yeah, if somebody say that is not a northern leader, I disagree.
He's a northern leader now. Who says not
another leader? And again, I want everybody to know, me, Prince White from Osun State, I know my age. I'm about 65. So nobody can tell me I'm a second citizen in this country. In Nigeria. See, Bola Tinubu Ahmed, the president of Nigeria, do your own bit. What is good for Nigeria, do it before your 4 years. Nobody's been talking of 2027 now. Can we beat our chest? As a Muslim, I can't see what will happen the next minute to me. What I'm talking about? Taking a department that will fetch Nigeria more money. Instead of that money go to private pocket. You fly from Abuja to Lagos, you don't know how much you spend. Allowances don't know how many you spend. And they keep that money to develop Kano, Kaduna, Ibadan, Enugu. It's not better for Nigeria. Someone is not telling me, hey, you go see you 2027 is around the corner. As Tinubu is president today, nobody can beat his chest. I'm the one made this man to be president of Nigeria. It's God Almighty. And those who supported him. What I'm talking about? No, if somebody tell me that Buhari, which are supporting last minute, without Tinubu, after God Almighty, it is Tinubu that is making to be president of this country. Because he tried 3 times with the northern vote. Without the elect with Tinubu party, we need the president. What I'm talking about? We are good to one another. We have to be brother keeper. Somebody's not threatening Tinubu. If you want Nigeria to pay for you, you only have for 4 years. That's another year. Forget about that. Do what is right for Nigeria, and nobody to threaten other tribes. If we return not taking, we are saying it. This type of democracy we are practicing today is too expensive. Borrow from America. You behave like America. About the penalty system consider that they allow regional to control themselves.
Thank you, Prince Wise.
Not threatening me as in Nigeria.
Nobody will not even accept that. Nobody can threaten anybody. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Fuad. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
I agree with my barrister, but he's already left.
Yeah, he's
one of our own, and we are very proud of him.
Yes,
we have somebody like this.
I think he should be in the studio with us next week. Hopefully.
This is Muhammad Abbas from Ikeja.
Yeah, Muhammad Abbas, how are you doing? Please go on, sir.
Yes. See, nobody, in the right senses, nobody threatened the president. If the president himself is the one that threatened us.
Now
we are also not second class. Let me tell you this: we are not second class. Don't come to a radio station and telling us that you are not second class.
Nobody is a second class.
Second class.
Nobody.
Okay, nobody is second class. We are one first class, and we are also Nigerian, and we have the right to complain when we are not happy with your policies. You see, this government that you are talking about, we voted for this government. We supported him. Without our support, we will never be a president. And like he's saying that because of 𝗛𝗏 that supporting him, will become a president. Nobody would beat in chess in this country. No section of this country beat in chess.
But Mohammed Abbas, what is the issue? What issue? What's the issue you have with the policies of the city?
Listen. The issue that I have here is that Abuja is in Nigeria.
Okay.
Right? If Lagos is in Nigeria, Abuja also is in Nigeria. So why is he moving to this place? We know the plan. It's one targeting about why is it always like that. So let me tell you this: nobody is with the right senses. Come 2027, will vote for this so-called 𝗵𝐶. Well, what we people they just want to bring this thing to here in Lagos to steal the money and keep, because they know that nobody will go to vote for 𝗵𝐶. Even here in Lagos, not my vote down.
All right,
nobody with the right senses.
All right, anyway, Mohammed Abbas, that will be the last call for today. But the issue of right senses, I really wanted to just hear him out, because again, I think we should watch our language on radio. Everybody, again, when it comes to votes and all of that, the arguments will never stop. I think in Femi Adesina's book, he said when Tinubu made the statement of 𝗵𝐸 coin and 𝗵𝐷𝗀, there was a problem of who to now break the news to the president, and that he decided that look, he doesn't want the president to hear that statement from someone else, so that he doesn't misinterpret it or gets misinformed. So he had to do it himself. And when he told the president what Tinubu had said in 𝗵𝐷𝗀 about 𝗵𝐸 coin, about the fact that and all those things, he had to, because again, he's a Yoruba man, so he could really present it properly to the president, President Bola Buhari at that time. He said the president didn't say anything. He kept quiet. So whether his silence on the issue was admitting that indeed what Tinubu has said was right or wrong, the reality is that, look, I think Nigeria is going to a point where one region can never produce a president with their votes.
Yes.
It's not possible.
Yes.
Even the way the constitution has structured it, the northerners can not on their own, with their own vote, produce a president without the south. The same thing, the south cannot on their own produce a president with votes only from the south. You have to have the spread. So it now means that you can't become president without the express support of at least majority of Nigerians spread across different regions, different states, different local governments, and different ethnic groups. I think we have to talk about the unity of the country and going to push the agenda. And I think that going forward, we should look at the things that unite us than the things that divide us. Nigeria will be great again. Thank you so much, Mohammed Abbas, Prince YN, Salau, Paul, Mr. Paul from Egbeda, Eric, and Billy Usman, who all called in to be a part of the show this evening, and everyone that sent in message on our Facebook platform. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Nuruddin, 30 seconds, your final take on the show this evening.
My own is just that the politicians, they should continue uniting us. They should not divide us with their politicking, because everything about them is about them alone. So they should just leave us alone, even if they cannot give us good governance. They should not divide us.
Further divide us. Okay, thank you so much, Nuruddin Adegbenro. Joseph Folorunsho, 30 seconds.
For policy intention of people, and I think Nigeria should not be used as a placebo in implementing any policy. Okay, should be able to set those policy for Nigeria, convince the people to drive it. Yes. Then my last thought is, please, if any Bua in Abuja, I think the president should show the service those people that are there. If at all we are facing crisis in states, it should not be Abuja. It should not be an Abuja. If there's any kidnapping in Abuja, please, all those people that are there now, thank them for coming and bring out.
Show them the exit door.
Show them the exit door. That Abuja is the seat of power. So no human being, even the spirit, should not be able to even
commit any crime
in Abuja without the permission of our wonderful security agency. So any issue there, please, President, thank them for coming. I see some people have spent more than 6 months.
Show them the exit door.
Show them the exit door.
Well, we're hoping that we'll be able to secure ourselves, because the primary job of any government is security of lives and properties. Every other thing comes secondary, and we hope that Nigerians will be able to sleep with their 2 eyes closed again. Well, that's the size of the packet. Political Roundtable, Mainland 98.3 FM. My name is Saheed Fuhad. Let's do this again next week.